journey to America. I was drafted into the Hungarian army on October 10th, 1955, at the age of 19. On October 23rd, 1956, the Hungarian Revolution began, a revolt of the Hungarian people against Soviet communist rule. I was stationed in Esztergom in a heavily armed unit. The night before the demonstrations in Budapest, college students and ordinary citizens began to rise up. That night was the most frightening of my life. They were given guns, hand grenades, and ammunition, and ordered to prepare to fight. The next day, full-scale fighting broke out. 2 days later, our unit was ordered to move into the main square and take it back from the demonstrators. We arrived in 2 trucks filled with soldiers. Thousands of people were gathered there, our own people. We refused to fire. Shooting at Hungarians went against our beliefs, our hearts, and our souls. We did not see them as enemies. We stood with them. We wanted freedom from communism just as much as they did. The people surrounded us, disarmed us, and took our weapons. Our superiors then told us, if you will not fight, return to Esztergom. A few days later, we heard that the people had won and that Hungary was free. We were transferred to Budapest around November 3, 1956, but that peace did not last. The Soviet army returned in full force. They bombed and destroyed our power stations, transformers, water towers, and buildings. The next morning, as we ran to hide, I met 2 of my friends from Tet. The Russians captured us, took our weapons, and locked us up for the entire day. The following morning, we were released and told to return to our station in Esztergom. Instead, my 2 friends and I decided to go home to Tet. We walked from Budapest to Győr, a journey that took 3 days and 3 nights. We met 2 soldiers we knew who gave us weapons for protection. Fortunately, we did not need them. There was a bus from Győr to Tet. I returned home to my family in Tet to rest. My feet were badly swollen, and I could barely walk after that journey. Soon after, a radio announcement ordered all soldiers to report back within 24 hours. There was no transportation, and I physically could not return. After speaking with other soldiers in Tet, we decided to escape to Austria. The next morning, we boarded a train from Győr toward the Austrian border. From there, we were taken to a safe house where we slept, and then secretly helped across the border. We paid the guides to destroy our identification, because we were told that if we were caught, we would be sent back to Hungary. From November 1956 to January 1957, we stayed in Austria at Lambach. We went to the Red Cross to receive clothing, but when we could not provide identification, we were arrested and jailed for 2 weeks. We attempted a hunger strike, but the Austrians did not understand what we were trying to do. Later, we were moved to Camp Rieda in Linz, where we were required to register by religion and declare where we wanted to go. I registered as evangelical. My friend Jimmy was Catholic and was sent to Salzburg. I remained in Linz. Jimmy wrote to me and invited me to join him in Salzburg. I went there, but I was not legally permitted to stay at first. After 2 weeks of going to the American embassy, I was able to stay in Salzburg. During this entire time, my family had no idea where I was. They would not learn of my whereabouts. Jimmy prepared to leave for America. When he departed, I was alone again. The FBI questioned me about my time in jail. When the chief of police confirmed that my arrest had been a mistake, I was released. From Salzburg, I traveled to Munich, then to Iceland, then to Canada, where I arrived at Camp Kilmer in New Brunswick, New Jersey. On March 15, 1957, I officially entered the United States. At Camp Kilmer, I unexpectedly reunited with Jimmy Kish for 3 hours before leaving with him to stay with his aunt in Roebling, New Jersey. On paper, Jimmy and I were listed as cousins so we could remain together. 3 days later, I began working in a shoe factory for 87 cents per hour. Each week, I paid $25 to Veternini and kept only $2 for myself. In May, Lucas Chevrolet hired me as an auto body repairman for $1 per hour, a trade I had learned in Hungary. In the spring of 1958, I worked for Joe Kovac. In 1960, I started my own small auto body business inside his shop, 2 businesses operating together under one roof. In 1958, I met my wife, Lois, who lived across the street from me. One day she came to my door with a piece of mail. When I reached out to take it, our hands touched, and in that moment, I knew I would never let her go. We were married in 1961 at Holy Trinity Church in a small but elegant ceremony. In 1962, after 6 years apart, I arranged for my mother to come to America. Seeing her again was one of the most emotional moments of my life. 1965 was a turning point. The U.S. government granted amnesty to those who fled Hungary in 1956, and I became an American citizen. This allowed me to safely return to Hungary and gave me greater protection and opportunity in my new country. That same year, Lois and I learned we were expecting our first child. Our daughter Linda was born in January 1966, and that summer we traveled to Hungary with her when she was just 5 months old. In 1968, our second daughter Suzanne was born. In 1960, I took over the Burlington, New Jersey auto body shop, naming it 5 Points Auto Body, which I owned and operated until my retirement in 2000. In 1971, our son and youngest child, Joseph Jr., was born. Throughout my life, I was blessed to travel back to Hungary many times and to welcome family members to America to visit us. When I retired in 2000, I began working alongside my son in his business, supporting him in any way I could. I continued to help in his business right up until 2025. Now, at the end of my life in 2025, I have been married to my love, Lois, for 64 years. We have 3 children, 6 grandchildren: Adam, Savannah, Laura, Colby, Haley, and April, and 1 great-granddaughter, Lily, with another great-grandson expected in February 2026. I consider myself a blessed man.